Turn up the radio and sing along. It's time for another great song. This is the Great Song Podcast.
Season's greetings and welcome once again to the Great Song Podcast. I'm Rob Alley.
I am JP Mosier.
And we're here to celebrate the greatest songs in modern music history. We're going to tell you what makes them great, why we think they're awesome, and why you should too. JP, how you doing today, man?
I am doing fantastic. Going to give a little East Tennessee geography with you today because we're in a fairly new venue for recording.
Yeah.
We're recording in a city called Daisy.
That's right.
And to get to Daisy, I'm going to give you, even you East Tennesseans may not know where Daisy is. So I live in Hendersonville, which is Middle Tennessee, but my parents live in Athens, Tennessee, which is Eastern Tennessee. So to get to Daisy, let me tell you the cities you drive through. Okay, you've got Decatur, okay, then you've got Dayton, Sail Creek, and Dunlap. To get to what is in any of those cities? And I'll give you the answer. It's nothing. And the reason I know is today my wife rode over with me. And those of you ladies out there, sorry, I'm happily married.
That's right.
And those of you that thought I was a lady, sorry, I'm a dude. But yeah, so she's like, so what am I going to do while you record for a little bit with Rob? And I'm like, oh, you can find something to do around. The answer is nothing. The closest city is a city called Hickson.
Yeah.
Rob's like, oh, there's a mall in Hickson. So I'm thinking, I didn't look this up because I wanted to just not know what stores are in a Hickson mall. So I visualized in my head that they probably have a Spencer's.
Okay.
It's just every mall has a Spencer's.
Yeah.
Maybe a Hot Topic.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to have some sort of shoe sports store, and I'm going with Foot Locker.
Yeah, probably.
And then it'll have some sort of clothing store, maybe J.C. Penney's, or maybe even if there's any Sears left, I don't know. It's probably in that mall.
Yeah.
So, and here's how we're going to segue into the episode. So I'm like, babe, you can go hang out at this mall. And she's like, what am I going to, are there going to be any stores there? You know, so I'm thinking of these stores. Well, I have a theory that our artist today worked at a mall like this and worked at every store like this except for Foot Locker. And I'm going to tell you, so I feel we are covering David Bowie.
Bowie.
Tell me you don't picture David Bowie working at a Spencer's.
Definitely see him at a Spencer's. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely working at a Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at least two of those three. And I have a theory that he likes to go into the Foot Locker wearing a referee shirt and just tries to trick people into buying shoes. He seems like that kind of jokester. Like he would go buy a referee shirt and go into Foot Locker.
He would go into J.C.Penney.
Yeah.
Sears,
buy the ref shirt, and then just go in and be like, somebody be like, hey, do you have this Jordan in size 9? And he would walk in the back and just try to be that guy and try to sell it. Maybe not sell it.
Make up things about it.
Yeah, be like, these are great for running and jumping and dancing.
Yeah, dancing.
And why don't we dance? Put
Why
on
don't you
these
put
red shoes.
Exactly.
And let's dance the blues.
Let's dance the blues.
So we are covering Let's Dance by David Bowie.
Heck yeah. We've waited a long time to cover this song.
And it took a long time to get into the song. But it was worth it.
Absolutely.
Geography and malls.
Let's take a listen. This is Let's Dance by David Bowie. I'm not running. Not doing it.
If you say hide, we'll hide. Because my love for you would break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms, tremble like a flower.
like a flower.
Like a flower.
Tremble like a flower.
We know how those flowers tremble.
Let me just get this part out of the way, because I know there are people who are listening probably who are going, you went with Let's Dance?
Absolutely.
But here's the deal. Like, there's probably more. We had this kind of thing with Peter Gabriel, right? Where, like, Peter Gabriel diehards probably hated our Sledgehammer episode. But we went with the one that we like the most.
Yeah.
That everybody identifies with, the most.
And that we have some backstory with, a little bit
exactly.
of tie-in.
It's got some stuff with us. But so, like, Let's Dance is just a song that we love super tons. And I get it. Space Oddity is amazing, and it's groundbreaking, and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? He's got other things that, like, your diehard David Bowie people are going to go, why didn't you do, you know what I mean?
Not that they sound like that.
No, no. In their hearts,
they do.
in their hearts,
Yeah,
they
do.
sound like that. They may not sound like that with their mouths, but in their hearts,
They're a little
But
whiny.
listen, we did this one because it's fun. It's his commercial peak. This song went #1 in the U.S. and in the U.K.
Absolutely.
So you can't, like,
And we're in Valentine's. You got enough sappy love stuff.
Yeah.
You want to dance some with at Valentine's.
yeah.
So let's dance.
yeah, exactly. You put this song on back to back with "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston.
Oh, man.
that's a party.
That's right.
You know,
That's
like
good.
that's a party.
You get everybody on the floor with those two back to back.
Absolutely. Let's start a little bit. First thing I want to do actually is, first of all, this is from the 1983 album of the same title. This is the title track, "Let's Dance," produced by Nile Rodgers from Chic, legendary producer of funk, soul, disco, and pop, who we've mentioned before, and he brought kind of a different element to this particular album. This is like a sort of an ushering in of another new era for Bowie. He started in the 60s, went through the sort of Ziggy Stardust era in the 70s, where he was, wearing the, like, glam rock, with the painted face and the star over his eye, and sort of androgynous look with the wild, like, bright red hair and kind of stuff. And then it was time for a sort of another shifting of era. So he gets Nile Rodgers, and Nile Rodgers brings his sort of funk infused pop. That wasn't all one word, funk infused. That was
Funk infused.
It not is funk infused, not also fun confused. It was funk infused pop.
This is where he goes to work at Belk. This is where he leaves the Hot Topic.
I feel like you're right, because I feel like
The suit.
He probably wore women's suits with
Yeah.
the shoulder pads in them during this era. You know what I mean? If you've seen the video, he's playing electric guitar with white gloves on, with that you would inspect a military installation with. And I remember watching that as a kid, going, why is he wearing those gloves? How does he even? It's like Mickey Mouse gloves. You know what I'm talking about? But turns out it wasn't even him. I didn't know that as a kid. This is the power of video that I always thought. That's David Bowie playing that guitar solo. It's not.
Oh, and we will get there in the Meet the Band section.
Absolutely. Okay, so the first thing that hits you about this song, I just want to go back and play the initial just 5-6 seconds of it. This opening chord makes you think it's going to be a totally different song, totally different kind of song altogether, right? You're going, well, let's take a listen. And stop it there, right? You go, oh yeah, this is Twist and Shout. You know what I mean? Like this is, I don't know. But really that is a callback to
Early Beatles sound and stuff.
like early Beatles and Isley Brothers song, like Twist and Shout. You know, you think, okay, this is going to be. By the way, do you remember the commercial from I can't remember if it's like late 80s or early 90s that played off Twist and Shout. But it was like ice cream, milk, ice cream, milk.
No.
I don't even remember what it was for. If you're listening out there, hit us back on Twitter or at facebook.com/groups/greatsongpod. And let us know if you remember that commercial. I think it was for I don't know, what commercial would advertise ice cream and milk.
Ice cream, milk. I don't know.
Maybe it was just for maybe it was the National Dessert Council. I don't know. Who even knows? Anyway,
That's funny.
I
don't remember that one.
You think this is going to be a a Beatlesque, what I'm saying? That's exactly what it sounds like. British invasion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Era. But it's not. It turns into this totally different thing. And maybe that was a signifier, you know what I mean? Maybe he was like sort of signifying his change in mood here with kind of a gotcha. I don't know. But that did lead me actually into some Twist and Shout research.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't know it, but Twist and Shout was originally recorded by the Top Notes in 1961. Ever heard of the Top Notes?
Don't know those guys.
It was produced by Phil Spector.
Oh man, that's big time.
And but it was kind of not up to snuff with the original writer's vision. That writer would be Burt Burns, a.k.a. Burt Russell. We're talking about Twist and Shout here, not Let's Dance. He took it to the Isleys then, and he produced their version himself, and it went number 1 on the R&B charts. And it got covered by the Beatles and became a legendary song, in its own right, both versions. But just for kicks, here's the original. We all know the song we're talking about, right? Twist and Shout.
Absolutely. You want to play the one that they may most know first, so for comparison's sake?
Sure. Yeah. If we don't know Twist and Shout, but let's do. Here's Twist and Shout. We'll do the Beatles version. Mm-hmm. We're Beatles guys. It was for milkshakes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the commercial was for milkshakes. Ice cream, milk, shake it a bit. There it was. Okay, so I'm not gonna play this whole song, but and then it's got that famous spot where it goes to that 5 chord, and it goes right. So that's exactly what we're calling back to here. But I want to play you just a little bit of the original version by the Top Notes, and you can see what you think.
Take it up, baby.
What? Oh no. I mean, it is what it is. It's just a different song.
Yeah.
I think the Beatles heard that and they're like, "Ooh, we like this, but we can make it good." No, they probably heard the Isley Brothers.
They definitely covered the Isley Brothers. It's got this whole second bridge section. Anyway.
Oh man.
Wildly different. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this except that opening chord calls back to that and makes you think this is what that is going to be. And then it turns into this super cool pop sound with this incredible chord progression. Mm-hmm. That's the next thing I would like to talk about is let's just go ahead and talk about the chord progression. Let's listen to it again and check out these opening chords. Once we get past the we're in the key of A flat here, by the way. B flat.
B flat. It's in B flat. Of course, it's in A flat. But.
Yes. So we start on that first chord is an E flat,
E flat,
7,
which is the 4 of the key that we are in.
Yes,
and we're going 5 of the chorus. But
right. Yeah,
anyway, we'll get there.
And really, yeah. All right, so we're really going to B flat minor here. So let's take a listen. All right, so I'm going to give you what we got here. Our opening chord this is all over a B flat. Okay, so you're thinking B flat in the bass, and it's got its own little bump, 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 bump. You know what I mean? It's got its own sorts of things here. But our first couple chords are over a B flat. So the first one is a B flat minor add 11, which means basically it's a B flat minor chord with an E flat on the top. And I believe it's got an A flat in there also. So it's almost like an A flat over B flat, but not really. It's more like an A flat suspended over a B flat because it's got an A flat, a D flat, and an E flat over a B flat.
Lots of things happening.
Yeah, it's a complicated chord there. But it gives it, all these chords kind of keep it moving until the very last one, which is just a true B flat minor, and that kind of gives it some resolution. So our first one is a B flat minor at 11, or like an A flat suspended over B flat. The second one is, I'm going to call it a B flat minor add 13, which a 13 in regular scale talk is like the 6th scale degree. So it would be a G. So it's really, if you better think of it this way, it's either a B flat minor add 13 or like a G half diminished over B flat. Neither of those explanations is super simple. Okay. But
whichever's easiest for you.
yeah. A G flat, a G half diminished, it would be like a G, B flat, D flat, F. Difference between a half diminished and a fully diminished, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, is the one note. It's either a half diminished has a dominant 7. Wow. We're getting super boring super fast. I can feel it just pulling down. So the difference between a G half diminished and a G fully diminished would be that the F would be an E. So fully diminished is all minor thirds, G, B flat, D flat, E, and then it's back up a minor third to another G. Half diminished has a true like 7 in it, which would be G, B flat, D flat, F. Okay, so put that over a B flat. That's your second chord.
We're halfway through the first part of the verse.
That's right. And then your third chord is it's an E flat minor on the top, like the guitar's playing just a straight E flat minor triad, which is nice and simple.
He's like, yay.
Yeah. Exactly.
And well, it's an E flat minor, so it's not like it's a fun chord, but at least it's playable.
Yeah. And then I believe the bass goes down to a G flat. So that's going to make it like a G flat. It's like a G flat major 7 with an added 6. So it's like a G flat add 13 kind of chord. I don't know. But it's anyway, it's complicated, and it's not the easiest thing to play either. It's got weird finger shapes to make it happen on the guitar playing up in that register.
Nile Rodgers, good job there, buddy.
Yeah, good job, Nile Rodgers. Way to screw it up for everybody. And then it settles into this nice B flat minor chord. Okay, so let me hit
play back through them now that you've written down your notes.
That's right,
and you know how to play along.
Everybody, check your notes.
Everybody, grab their instrument of choice.
All right, one more time. We're 8 seconds into the song at this point. We got, and by the way, we're playing from the album version, which is 7.5 minutes long. This is not the single that they made
here on the radio.
Yeah, here we go. E flat 7, right? Here we go. B flat minor add 11. B flat minor add 13. E flat minor over G flat. B flat minor. Okay. Now I'll give you the alternates. This is A flat suspended over B flat. G half diminished over B flat. E flat minor over G flat. G flat add 13, maybe. B flat minor. Okay? Simple enough? Everybody got that? All right, we're about 4 minutes into the episode now. I hope y'all made it through.
You should have said A sharp minor just to give a different on the end.
Oh, man. I got infuriated today. Did you say, no, you're not on Facebook. You haven't seen this.
No.
I literally posted on Facebook today that I saw this. I was looking up a chord chart for something unrelated to this, and it was in the key of F. The song that I was looking at was in the key of F, and the first chord in the chord chart that I looked up should have been a B flat, and whoever wrote it in as an A sharp, which is just cardinal. You know what I mean? That's capital offense for me. Calling a B flat chord an A sharp chord. I get it. If you're a guitar player, you would probably call a G flat chord an F sharp, because you get that a lot. But there's no excuse to call something an A sharp chord. Never, ever, ever. Anywho, there's a little more theory when we get to the bridge, but I'll save that because I can just hear everybody's boredom. I can feel it.
While we're still on the intro, let's talk about the woodblock / cowbell, depending on how you think.
Yes.
We discussed before we started this, we know it's a woodblock.
Yeah.
But in our head, it's a cowbell.
Right. We get a lot of, we've played this a lot with wedding band type stuff. And so,
Chad Cochran, we see you.
That's right. So our amazing drummer, Chad, would always bring this cowbell woodblock setup to sort of recreate that.
For this song.
That cool percussion. Yeah, it was absolutely just for this one song. So taking it on flights was stupid, but we did it anyway. And
we went to Texas from Tennessee with this.
We carried a woodbell a woodbell, yeah.
A woodbell.
Carried 2 wood blocks on a cowbell just for this
one song.
It was amazing. So Yeah, that's really like a woodblock, and it's probably digital percussion at this point. Although Nile Rodgers, you don't know.
You never know. Let's hear what we're talking about. Let's highlight this part of the intro.
All right, here we go. One more time. We're just really nailing.
We love the intro.
Really, this episode is about the intro to "Let's Dance" by David Bowie. Here we go. One more time.
And we're back.
E flat 7.
And there we are.
There you go. One more time. And by the way, you can hear it in the percussion and in the guitar parts and in everything. There's brilliant use of delay in this track. Like tons of stuff has great delay on it. The guitar part kind of has so much delay on it that you can't even really tell what the actual strokes of the guitar is and what's the delay. You know what I'm saying?
What's the bounce back and what's the
is it
the attack?
Is it a guy going dun 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 dun, dun or is it a guy going gun gun gun
with tons of
like good high level high volume delay. Anyway, all right, back to the cowbell.
Okay, cool. And we can touch on the delay here in a minute because I got a little thing that I noted on that. Famous songs with cowbell. So here we go. Off the top of our head, everybody knows. If you've not seen the Christopher Walken episode, that's the thing that made cowbell famous. It's Will Ferrell made famous
in
the
popular
cowbell.
culture. Yeah,
it's them doing "Don't Fear the Reaper"
by Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult.
I got to show that sketch to my kids for the first time a few weeks ago, and it was like mind-blowingly hilarious for them.
That's good. Everybody that hasn't seen it, please come out from under the rock and go see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, surely everybody's seen that. If you've seen it, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know,
Like
right?
you barely have the internet, so.
So other famous songs, we can kind of go alternating fashion if you want with popular cowbell.
Do you want to play them as we go?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of want to take the one out the gates, Lowrider by War.
Oh, solid.
I don't know if you had that one on your list. It's a personal fave. First one I thought of.
Nope. Here we go.
This is Lowrider by War.
I mean, come on.
Hello.
Hey. That's so money.
That's it. And
like
he's
the
in.
list should stop there.
That's it. And he's in. Yeah, I probably should have saved that one to the end because it's downhill from there. All right. You got one?
Yeah, I think so. I did these in my head, and so now I'm a little fearful that I'm going to say them, and they're not actually going to have any cowbell in them.
It's going to be triangle.
That's right. But I think I'm going to feel so stupid. But I think If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free by Sting has some cowbell in it.
Well, it may be because Omar played on that.
Okay.
Who's the drummer? We'll talk about that in the Meet the Band section.
Let's take a listen. And if it's not there, I'm just going to say, oh, it was later in the song. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a listen.
Free, free, set them free. Free, free, set them free.
Wait, I got to wait for the full groove to kick in.
Free, set them free. Free, free, set them free. If you need somebody,
it's not there, but I can hear how it would be there.
I was just, God.
Okay, songs that should have had a cowbell in it.
Dang it.
Okay, that's all right. Rob's 0 for 1. We're an American band, Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh, yeah.
This is cowbell magnificence. We will do this episode sometime. We will do a Grand Funk episode. Probably this one.
Some Mark Farner.
Mark Farner.
Let's go. Here it is. Yeah, man.
Watch this video. So he is killing it over the floor tom. Like, he's just hitting the cowbell with everything he's got.
Okay. I have a great story about this song that was actually made possible by you, but you were not there for. But a name we haven't mentioned in a good solid little while, and I almost feel bad about it, is Weird Al Yankovic. Okay. Weird Al.
We love you, Weird.
We love you,
we're
and
still there.
you will be on the show someday, okay? We got Dave Barnes.
Oh, man.
By golly, we're gunning for number 1, okay?
We made near miraculous happen.
Right.
That's as close to miraculous as you can get.
The two people that I want to interview on this show before I die are Weird Al Yankovic and Dave Barnes. We crossed Dave Barnes off the list, and so Weird Al, I will not stop until I interview Weird Al Yankovic. Okay, but was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't even remember. You surprised me with a concert ticket to a Weird Al show, and it was on the tour where he was doing like deep cuts and stuff like that.
For the true Weird Al fan, not for the people that want to hear Eat It.
Right. Yeah.
It was like,
he was doing no parodies, all originals and stuff like that. And And
It would have been
then-
2 years ago because last year we saw him at Ascend.
Correct.
It was the different.
That's correct.
tour.
We saw him on the No Strings Attached or Strings Attached tour
Attached tour.
with the symphony. But they would open up the second set with a cover, and or they open up their like encore set with a cover. And I saw him twice on that tour. The second night that I saw him, the one in Nashville, they opened up with We're an American Band.
That's awesome.
Weird Al and his band killed.
His
We're an
band is
American
nasty
Band.
good.
Dude. Yeah, so definitely got some good cowbell on that with John Bermuda Schwartz on drums.
Oh, yeah.
Killing that intro. It was
That's
great.
good. Got any more? Or
Yeah.
since you went 0 for 1, I
Let's
didn't know.
let's go. How about Come On Feel the Noise?
There we go.
Yeah, got
there
one?
we go.
All right. It's basically the same. You could confuse these two intros for the We're an American Band
That's
and Come
good.
On Feel the Noise. Well, I guess except for the guy yelling.
Girls Rock Your Boys.
Yeah, but there's no cowbell.
Oh my goodness.
Feel
What is my freaking problem?
Oh man. I was like, yeah, it makes sense in my head.
We'll get
What is my problem, dude?
wow.
We pride ourselves on solid research, and Rob is 0 for 2. It's all right. I'm going to bring it back.
So you think I got
Am I going insane?
I'm going to bring it back. Stone Free, Jimi Hendrix.
Man,
Maybe I should just do this section.
is this just a cruel prank?
He's going to be like, next, My Heart Will Go On. Definitely has cowbell.
Here's Stone Free by Jimi Hendrix Experience.
You got to wait till the drums come in. And there we go.
There we go.
That's a cowbell.
That's what that is.
That's a cowbell.
The thing that's like ding, ding,
That's
ding.
it. It's
Oh,
perfect.
you know, I think maybe I've been confused about what that actually is.
Hi-hat. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Okay, listen,
You got to get one.
I gotta get one. How about we're not gonna take it?
That would make sense.
Okay.
But I thought Come On Feel the Noise did too.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say yeah.
If this doesn't have this, we're not gonna take it by Twisted Sister. Oh my! Wait. Yes.
It's back there.
Okay.
Okay, it's in
Yeah. I was like,
there. Oh, it's distant,
on.
but it's in there. You made it. Hair of the Dog by Nazareth.
man.
And then since we're sticking in that vein, and then I got one. I got a finalized one. Unless you got another one that really does have.
You
a
know what?
cowbell.
I should just quit.
Hair of the Dog by Nazareth.
All right. Is this a song you actually knew?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, I just don't. I wouldn't tell you.
You know
I
Nazareth,
any
right?
Nazareth. I mean, I know of Nazareth, but I don't.
Love Hurts.
Okay. There you go.
There you go. This is their other song, so that's the only way I know that. And that's just a cowbell. So, but y'all know this one.
Okay. There you go. A little Nazareth for you.
Okay, last one. This is my favorite cowbell song. This is
Okay.
my favorite one. This is number one for me. Mississippi Queen by Mountain.
That's
So
good.
that's the first one I thought of, like when I started talking about cowbell. Like that was the one that hit me out the gates. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, I could think of some others, but I saved this one.
Yep. Here it is.
Fast. I love this song.
Yeah, it is cool. You think it's going to be double the time that it is, but then it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this song.
Good call.
Mississippi
I didn't even
Queen.
go like Carlos Santana. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even go like Black Magic Woman,
Yeah.
which I guarantee has some cowbell.
Odds
but,
are good.
But now I'm scared to even listen. I'm never again going to try and just assume
Yeah.
I know what songs have a cowbell in
It's
them.
a good thing we didn't set up prizes of unspeakable value for all the ones that Rob could get.
Yeah, no kidding. Golly,
Anyway,
lesson learned.
education and cowbell, everyone.
Yeah, how about that? While we're talking about percussion, drums, why don't we go ahead and meet the band?
Okay, let's meet the band.
Yeah.
Hey, let's meet the band. It's time to meet the band. Hey, mama, let's meet the band. Let's all meet the band.
All right, we're going to meet the band that played on this rock and roll jam with David Bowie. I'm going to start with Bowie. Vocals only on this. He's shown playing guitar on the video. Actually, but on
With
this
his Mickey Mouse gloves.
Yeah, I know, right? But he actually only provided vocals on this. David Robert Jones. That's right. He could have been another Davy Jones.
Yeah.
But like the Monkees, but he had to change his name because of Davy Jones. 1996 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Space Oddity, his first hit was in 1969. Does that song sound like it's from the 60s? No way.
I mean, it's advanced. Yeah.
That does not sound like a 60s song to me. I thought that was definitely newer.
Yeah. I definitely.
Y'all know
I
what
hear
we
you're saying.
say when we say Space Oddity, right? Should we play a little
This is
ground control to Major Tom?
Tom.
Yeah, from Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Do you remember? Who used that on a tour as their
Oh, man,
walk-up song?
Let me think on it. Was it Van Halen.
No.
Then that was a guess.
Okay. The U2 spaceship
That's right.
tour.
That's right.
Yeah. So you know how bands
With the Muse. That was that one.
That's right. With Muse opening up,
That's
they
right,
had
in Atlanta.
you know how bands will have like their playlist that plays before, you know what I mean? And if they're good, it'll be like a hand-picked playlist. And then like the song before, it'll
It's just
get
a louder,
It gets
yeah.
louder, and so, to let you know and to build anticipation. And so U2 did this tour. I can't remember the album it was for. It might have been the How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. No, it was after that. Anyway.
Wasn't it the 360 tour?
It was the 360
Yeah,
tour. I was
it's
trying to remember the album that
Elevation?
it was support of.
Which one that one was on?
Yeah, it was after that one, I think.
Was it?
It
Okay,
was
maybe.
yeah. Anyway, but
Maybe it was How to Dismantle.
it was in the round, and the the set looked like a big spaceship, and so Space Oddity was the last thing that they played coming up before they quote unquote took off. It was awesome.
That's cool. I do remember that now. Starman, Ziggy Stardust, we talked on that a little bit. Under Pressure with Queen.
Yeah.
His final album, Black Star, released in 2016, and he died 2 days later. Got to talk about Labyrinth, the movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen Labyrinth?
You remind me of a babe.
Nailed it. He's Jareth the Goblin King
Weird movie.
with 15-year-old young Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Jennifer Connelly's the girl
Oh.
opposite him in that. As the World Falls Down, Dance Magic Dance. That we're in the place we're recording. It's a church. I hope I can say that, but it's kind of like a labyrinth. It's really mazy.
It is. We have
Rob's
these,
like, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Rob's like, you take this fourth hallway down to take a left at the mirror. And
yeah, I don't understand. There's several sets of stairs. And my office is on the second floor, and there's like several sets of stairs, and they just are very
labyrinthy.
Yeah, it's like MC Escher staircase because they're all very close to each other.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like they overlap each other. I don't quite understand.
And the outside stairs
very
are
weird.
really far apart. They're a different level. I've tripped twice going up and down, and I'm normally pretty decent with stairs. He started playing. This is David Bowie. Started playing saxophone at age 12. Saxophone was his first instrument. Most requested song. Rarely plays it live, but it's called "Laughing Gnome." That's his most requested song.
Weird.
On stage in 2004, he had to stop a show because he was hit in the eye with a lollipop.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
These are just random Bowie facts. I'm
that
just
is a
throwing out.
random Bowie fact.
He had his own mime troupe called Feathers. Yeah, mime troupe. Can
Okay.
you see David Bowie as a mimist?
I mean, he definitely
Is it
has the
mimist?
gloves for it.
Mimer.
I think just a mime,
Just a mime.
Right.
Okay.
but he definitely has the gloves for it in this video.
Yeah.
So
He plays every instrument on some of his projects. He's one of those multi-instrumentalists. Played everything on Rebel Rebel. I never really visualized him playing guitar. Like, I just see him as a front man. Like, in my head, I don't picture David Bowie
it's
holding a
It's
guitar.
true.
His two favorite bands over the past 10 years pre-death, Arcade Fire and TV on the Radio.
I don't know TV on the radio at all. I know Arcade Fire a
I
little.
just thought that was interesting. So there's some Bowie.
There you go.
Lead guitar. Guesses, anybody out there? We're going to give you 3 seconds to take a guess who plays lead guitar. 1, 2, 3. It's fast.
Wrong.
3. Okay. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah.
We're not going to do a whole lot of talk on Stevie because we're going to do a Stevie
We'll do
Ray
it,
Vaughan
yeah.
episode.
Sure.
Rob maybe want to touch on a little bit, but
Legendary blues guitarist, was sort of the spiritual successor to Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah,
right? You
that's
know what
good.
I mean? He's the next. I won't say next like great guitarist after Hendrix, but I just mean he took what Hendrix did and incorporated it so much into his own playing that he's like truly a child of Jimi Hendrix.
he even does Voodoo Child. So.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and so he kind of took the attitude and the energy and all that stuff that Hendrix had and channeled it into the blues rock of the late 80s or mid to late 80s and early 90s before he passed. So Stevie Ray Vaughan, legend. Like,
Absolutely.
is he Mount Rushmore of guitarists?
I was about to say that. I think we'll discuss that
When
maybe
we
on
talk
his
about him.
episode.
Yeah,
because if he makes the cut.
where his spot is. Blues guitarists kind of end up in a different spot. It's a little bit apples and oranges. You know
It's
what
which
I mean?
sound you like
But-
better, which taste you
Yeah.
like. But yeah.
But anyway, yes, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Anyway, the other guitar player, the producer, Al Rogers. We talked a little bit about his chord work earlier. Guitarist of Chic. Y'all know him from La Freak and Good Times, etc. Produced Material Girl for McDonald's. For
yeah,
Madonna.
I love that.
I knew he was a producer, but wow, the stuff he did stuff with Clapton.
Yeah.
Stray Cats. We'll probably do a Chic episode maybe, and I know we've talked about him before.
Yeah.
On bass, Carmine Rojas. toured with Bowie from 83 to 87. When he wasn't with Bowie in 85, 86, he was with Julian Lennon. So those were his two. Also toured with Tina Turner, Richie Sambora, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I wonder if that was some way that he got the connection in for this. Most recently, he plays bass with Beth Hart. Y'all know her from LA Song. You know that song? Man, I gotta get out of this town. From the 90s? What?
No.
Okay. And Joe Bonamassa now. Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa do music together now. And he's their bass player.
I got you.
So if you get a chance, look up I'd Rather Go Blind from Live in Amsterdam, minute 50 seconds. It's awesome. It's slow blues, but it's Carmine going crazy.
Okay.
So it's not worth stopping, but
Very cool.
if you get a chance, check it out. On keyboard bass, because there's also keyboard bass added on this song, Erdal, don't botch this last name, Mosier, Kizilkay. Oh, it's going to go Kizilcay. Thank you, Kizilkay, for being a big family, for being a big listener of the podcast. We didn't want to mess up your name. Kizilkay. Turkish multi-instrumentalist, and he just does a bunch of Turkish projects. So I didn't know any of them, but you can look up Erdal. On drums, Omar Hakim.
Yeah.
Bowie quote, this is great Bowie quote, fascinating drummer with impeccable timing. I mean, what else do you need to say about a drummer?
Ta-da.
That's it. Bowie said you're a fascinating drummer with impeccable timing.
Yeah.
So
That's your resume.
That's it.
It's an 8.5 by 11,
Yeah.
but it just says that in the middle.
It's references. One.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
That's it.
We talked about him on the Dire of Straits episode as he played on Brother in Arms. His dad played trombone for Duke Ellington and Count Basie. Played with Kate Bush. He played with Sting on Dream of the Blue Turtles. He did play, and that album has Fortress Around Your Heart, and If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free.
Man.
So maybe he took the cowbell
So
away.
disappointed. I must have been thinking about the original mix.
The deep cut.
the demo mix.
That's right. The original. Stuff with Madonna, Carly Simon, George Benson, Daft Punk, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, and now he's touring with Journey. He has replaced
really?
Dean Castronova as the now drummer with Journey.
Gotcha.
On keys and piano stuff, we'll just say he does some of the piano stuff. That Ron Sabino did stuff with Ace Frehley, Peter Frampton, Herbie Hancock. Now he tours with Todd Rundgren. Played keys on Like a Virgin by Madonna. I feel like we're talking a lot about Madonna on this. A lot of tie-in.
Yeah, typically way more than typically we do. We hardly ever mention Madonna,
And we've mentioned her 3 times.
kind of weird.
Yeah. He played keys on We Are Family by Sister Sledge.
There you go.
And Dance, Dance, Dance by Chic. And now he's a musical director at a church. So
Really?
good job, Rob.
Okay.
Rob.
Wow.
On trumpet, Max Gellahan. Lots of trumpet part on the full extended version. Not
Right,
as
yeah.
much on the video and the radio edit.
Right.
But
You get the little hits on the radio. The bam, bam,
Yep.
bam.
But you get the
But there's like trumpet
weird stuff
solo
on
that
the
we heard
intro.
at the beginning. Yeah.
Stuff with Grace Jones, Duran Duran. He does the trumpet on Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car.
Really?
Rob's favorite song.
Little Billy Ocean.
Well, it's kind of rapey with a weird video, but a bunch of kids and dancers and the steering wheel's on the wrong side. But he plays the trumpet on that. Played with jazz legend Buddy Rich. On sax, Robert Aaron. Stuff with Blondie, Wyclef Jean, Mick Jagger, and Amy Winehouse. There's 2 other sax players on this as well, Stan Harrison and Steve Elson. We won't leave you out, but Robert was the main sax player. On percussion, Sammy Figueroa. He's been the sideman with some greats: Joe Cocker, George Benson, Miles Davis, Blondie, Hall & Oates, Dave Matthews Band. It's a good person to play percussion for.
Yeah.
And Luther Vandross. So that's the Meet
I
the Band
believe if he is who I'm thinking of, I have a video of George Benson live from Ireland.
Yeah.
That I believe it's probably him playing percussion.
Just going
on.
crazy.
Just killing it. And his look is incredible because he's like kind of buff with like just leather vest and no sleeves,
yeah.
long hair. And
That's the right look for a percussionist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you're female.
Yeah,
You could
that's
show
absolutely.
the guns.
Yeah.
That's right. Long hair.
You gotta, if you gotta navigate all these like congas and bongos and stuff,
Yeah.
wind chimes, your arms need to be
Free, that's right.
You can't be constricted with all that clothing and fabric. You know what I mean? You just got to go vest with no sleeves.
That's right.
It's just the best way to.
Don't be coming up there in a hoodie.
No.
Sweating.
No.
You gotta be fair. That's the Meet the Band section.
Yeah. Outstanding. That was a good band to meet. That really was a solid.
That was a solid band.
This was, like we said, this was Bowie's biggest sort of commercial success. It was there was a quote on I believe it was Apple Music from their editors. On the Apple Music editors notes on this album said Bowie's 70s work established him as the ultimate thinking person's rock star, but 1983's Let's Dance made him a full-blown pop star. So it sort of became, obviously he was already kind of an icon, but this opened him up to people that he was too weird for before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
This opened him up to just your dance floor folks and your club people. I have a little bit from Nile Rodgers. This is from songfacts.com. A little bit going back to Stevie Ray Vaughan and then back into Nile Rodgers. So the song stands out from Stevie Ray Vaughan's usual blues rock territory, says Songfacts. Nile Rodgers said in a 2018 Reddit interview he did that he wishes there were cell phones back when they recorded Let's Dance so that he could have captured the look on Stevie's face when he first heard the track.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Stevie was like just blues.
Yeah, I want you to play on this song. It's
Yeah,
like, I get
and then
that.
it's like, yeah, here's this Bowie track, and so it was so weird. And then Nile Rodgers added, and this is so cool. He said he knew it was so important that the first thing he played was one single note, a B flat, to stay out of the way of the groove. He then ripped as he got more comfortable with the band and everyone in the room. We became lifelong friends, and I produced the Vaughan brothers and gave the eulogy at his funeral.
Oh,
Nile
wow.
Rodgers gave the eulogy at Stevie Ray Vaughan's funeral. But yeah, you hear him when he first comes in.
You want to play the solo?
Let's go into a little bit. His first entrance is actually kind of after the first chorus, going back into the first, but it's just this one note that just kind of lingers and sits. And you go, oh, come on, man, you're Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know what I mean? But it was just to let the groove be kind of the king.
My love for you would break my heart in two if you should fall into my arms, tremble like a
Stevie Ray Vaughan, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. Yeah. So, pretty cool. I love, by the way, another thing about Omar Hakim's drumming on this, the fills that come out of that like B section, right? Because my love for you would break my
When he
heart
means
in
B
two.
section, he means like 2, not the key of B.
Yes,
We're still in
correct.
B
I'm
flat
sorry.
all the way
So
through.
yeah, like the bridge section. If you say run, all that stuff. Which goes into an A flat and kind of a different vibe, and it lands back on that. He always ends every time there with like a snare flam on 4 and then nothing until 1. So it'll go tremble, boom, and there's just a space there that I just love every time. That he just lands there. I think it really sets off the next part. Like I think that kind of feel is looking forward to making the next part pop again.
That's good. And it makes the long vocal of Flower stand out too.
Yeah, it's true. And I love, one of my favorite things about this song is actually the way he says flower the second time. So the first time he just comes in, tremble like a flower, and he sounds like Bowie. But the second time, I don't know what happened. I don't know if something happened in the studio or what, but the way he says flower the second time, his voice kind of breaks a little bit, and he just almost sounds like, I don't know, exhausted or like he got kicked in the pants or something. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find that.
Because my love for you would break my heart in two.
All right, take a listen right here. Listen to the drum fill and then listen to Flower.
Into my arms and tremble like a flower.
It's like there's an extra H in there, and then it's like flower. Like, I don't know what exactly happened there, but I'm super glad it did, and I'm super glad it got left in. And then So and then actually Hakim on the end of that one threw in an extra little kick, a little like a 16th note, and then just the space. I love that. There's such a couple of weird Bowie vocal things on here. The other one for me is
Put on your right shoes and dance the blues.
yes. Oh man, it's so weird. It's like it's a little bit. It's kind of out of tune, and it's
Kind of demanding.
so random. I said,
Put on your right shoes. Yeah. It's worth finding, guys.
Exactly.
If you get a chance when you're listening through.
yeah. The yeah.
Do you want to play a little of the Stevie solo?
Sure,
At least
yeah.
a sampling.
Let's
just so
let
you can
Stevie play
see
a little
more. Just a minute.
Here we go. It's a lot of his like. He never does like go full Stevie, right?
yeah.
He's always it's mostly a lot of his. He's got this kind of signature lick that he does this that kind of thing. It's a lot of that.
But
There it is.
All right, back to Stevie. Hang on.
That's
That tone. That's one thing you get in the extended version is quite a bit more guitar
Yeah.
solo. Which
a lot of
is
different sections.
Always good. A little bit more on a little bit more from Nile Rodgers, I should say. He just has some really good quotes on this. In an interview with Mojo, Nile said that the song was about more than a literal dance, getting into the song itself. He said when David wrote those lyrics, he was talking about the dance that people do in life, the conceptual dance of not being honest. He sings, put on, and I've never even thought about this dichotomy. He says, put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Like you're pretending to be happy, but you're sad.
I'm glad you touched on that because there's a huge focus on the red shoes in the video, and I know I had a hard time grasping where they were going with it. I thought it was some sort of Hans Christian Andersen reference or something, but I like that you touched on the color part.
I read a little bit about the video that it was basically, and obviously this is how the thing I read on the video was saying that it was obviously a statement on imperial racism, obviously. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. But if you watch it through that lens, it does make sense. And actually in the video, it's got a couple dancing in a bar. So what happens is it's like an Aboriginal family. It was filmed in Australia, and they have an Aboriginal family, and they're sort of out in the brush, and they find these red shoes, and they I can't remember if the woman actually puts on the red shoes or if she imagines herself putting on the red shoes. And when she does, then they start seeing all these visions, right? And at the end, they end up trampling the red shoes because they see what will happen if they wear them. And anyway, they filmed, and they took this Aboriginal couple to a bar and just filmed. And the people that you see in the background are actually just patrons of the bar. They're not extras or anything like that. They just started filming in this bar, and David Bowie's leaned up against the wall with his weird gloves on and and his guitar. And so there's spots where the patrons at the bar, they were not happy about this Aboriginal couple. Like there was some actual like racism inherent in the situation. And so there's spots where you see other people dancing, and according to the thing that I read, that was actually patrons getting up and like making fun of this Aboriginal couple.
Oh, wow.
So you're seeing like these people act on their racism in the video.
Wow.
In real life.
I didn't know that.
In this video that's supposed to be a statement about
That's really good.
racism.
Good find on that, Rob.
So-
Everything you missed on cowbell, you salvaged right there. That was good.
Yeah, I can tell you, it's weird. I might not be able to tell you what songs have cowbell in them, but I can tell you what videos have racists. I'll just start with the country genre.
No. We did drive through Decatur and Dayton, and we're in Daisy, which is very southern.
Yeah,
Lots of country
You're
music.
in kind of deep south.
I
Yeah,
I had the satellite radio on, and it automatically like goes to Highwaymen radio. And I'm like,
yeah.
what in the world? How'd this happen? I didn't have it there.
That's funny. A little bit more from Nile. There was some just great stuff from him I found in this. This is from the film David Bowie, 5 years in the making of an icon. He says, Let's Dance is not what I'd call a traditional dance record, but it's certainly a record that does make you want to dance. I thought to myself, man, if I don't make a record that makes people want to dance and we call the song Let's Dance, I'm going to have to trade in my Black Union card. So he's a funny guy. He has a lot of funny quotes. David Bowie said he tried to produce something more upbeat and a little less nihilistic than his stuff had been before. You know what I mean? It was very heavy and what's the point, and we're all going to die. And this was like, let's
Have some fun.
Let's have a little fun. Yeah.
I heard that he played the original idea on a 12-string guitar that only had 6 strings. And he
Okay.
played it for Nile, and Nile's like, oh, I like it, but we need to change the key. And then they added the delay part because it originally sounded really disco-ish. He thought
Okay.
that if you can hear that without the delay,
Yeah.
how that could feel kind of a disco sound. And
Definitely.
They were like, that was in the Disco Sucks time. So it
Right,
was like,
yeah.
we got to get away from that.
True.
So they added the delay to give it some of that.
Yeah.
B-flat success.
Yeah. And it was a good change. I mean, it's a classic, I mean, this is it's just a fun song. It's so I don't. This is really I don't go deep with Bowie. I don't have tons of Bowie. I've got a couple records, with Black Tie, White Noise, and whatever. But like, I don't have much, and I wouldn't call myself like a Bowie person, But I respect. Obviously, you got to respect Bowie as an artist.
Absolutely.
And what he did. But for me, this is about as far as I go. This and Space Oddity are, they're about the Bowie that I'm comfortable with. One day I go through periods where I try to make myself get more familiar with an artist because I feel like they deserve it. You know what I mean? So like,
I got into him more after, I guess this is the wrong way, but right after he passed away.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people
Sure.
do that when somebody dies, like, oh man, I should have listened to him more then.
yeah, right. What happens is like for stuff like this, I hear it as a kid, get an impression of it, and then that impression becomes my characterization of that whole artist's career.
Mm-hmm.
And then later I grow up and I give it more of a chance on purpose, listening to it with a whole different set of ears than I had when I was, 6 or whatever. And you know what I mean? I was like, well, Bowie's a weird guy. And then that becomes my characterization of Bowie. So I'm sure I'll do that with him at some point. I'm getting there on Elton John. I would almost call myself an Elton John fan at this point. Instead of just a fan of a few Elton John songs,
Yeah.
I would almost call myself an Elton John fan.
y'all
Tom
like-
Petty, I turned on Tom Petty, hated Tom Petty when I was a kid, and now I love Tom Petty stuff. Like, so it's, great.
If you want to go back and listen to our Elton John episode on Tiny Dancer, even
Yeah.
at that time, Rob would say stuff like, now, JP, you're a bigger Elton John fan
Right.
than me. He would,
Yeah.
admit that. So the fact that Rob is coming around.
I'm coming around. I almost never turn off Elton John on the radio anymore.
And
which
he's
is-
not dead yet.
which is
I'm
really
not
saying
saying
something.
he's liking him because he's dead. Like,
Right.
He,
No.
he did do Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't.
I
but-
listened to Rocket Man today.
Yeah.
Actually. So there we go.
Cool.
So you got anything else on Let's
One
Dance or
one
Bowie?
little thing. There is a cover. Jimmy Fallon does a cover with Nile Rodgers. So
Really?
yeah. So it's if you get a chance, if you're gonna do this cover, might as well have Nile come
Yeah.
come play guitar.
Oh, that's
on it
awesome.
with you. So I don't know if we don't even necessarily have to send him out with that, but if you get a chance, go check it out. It's been another fun episode, guys.
Absolutely. Season 5 rolls on. If you have not yet gotten a chance to check out last week's episode with Dave Barnes in studio with us, check it out, man. It was a whole other level of awesome. And we enjoyed it so much. We've already gotten so much positive response from it and feedback. And so hopefully we can pull off some more surprises like that in the future for the special 100th episode. It was amazing. Thank you guys for sticking with us.
Season 5.
That's right. You guys are keeping this train rolling. So
We've crossed the century mark.
we have, man, 100 episodes. It's just mind blowing. We've toured the world and elsewhere. And to quote David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap,
There we go.
there we go. As we'll see you guys next week with another amazing song. Until then, I'm Rob.
I am JP.
Go listen to some music.